Greetings from Imperial Comics and Games. I'm here with another recommendation for you, and I was talking to Josh as we were preparing to film this video, and I revealed to him a deep dark secret that I have multiple ways of communicating with people. I have my serious voice, I have my actual voice, and all this other stuff. So I'm going to try to maintain my normal voice as I talk about this book, but excuse me if I just completely kind of geek out for a minute. Today, I am recommending one of my all-time favorite books. You can pick on me, left, I don't care. He-Man, The Eternity War, Volume 1. This is Volume 1 of a 2-volume trade paperback set from the He-Man series that was written by Dan Abnett, and a couple artists were working on this book. You have Pop Mon and Tom Denerick, and I may be horribly mispronouncing their names. I'm sorry. I love your work. Forgive me for jacking up your names. I love this story. So it happens right in the middle of this ongoing battle that He-Man's a part of. And I think before I go any further in the story, I need to make a couple things perfectly clear. This is not your 1980s Filmation He-Man cartoon, okay? This is not no goofy Adam He-Man stuff going on. This is also not the 2000s He-Man cartoon that was kind of an anime-inspired one that was on Cartoon Network. This is somewhere in between, pulling a lot from the old Conan and the old comics inspiration that He-Man has. So it's a bit more violent, a lot more serious in the storyline. I love He-Man. There's only a couple of things in the shop that I will not sell. So if you come to Imperial Comics and Games, pretty much everything in this place, from the artwork on the walls to the comics to the collectible, everything's for sale in the shop if you get the right price. Except my original Castle Grayskull playset that I have on display, my original Snake Mountain playset that I have on display, and I will also talk about Thundercats, but that's for another video. So when I eventually review the Masters of the Universe versus the Thundercats book, we'll talk about Thundercats then. So I say all that to say this. I'm a huge Masters of the Universe fan. I like He-Man, I like She-Ra. I got my Apple Watch on, and on my Apple Watch face, you know who's on my Apple Watch face? It rotates through, and one of the people on there is Hordak, and the other one that's on there is Skeletor. So I've exposed my geeky love, and I don't care about He-Man. So we get this book. A friend recommended it to me. I had not read many He-Man comics, and he recommended it to me, and I opened it up, and it's amazing. This trade paperback jumps in the middle of a battle, in the middle of a story, where He-Man and the Masters of the Universe have been dealing with Skeletor, of course, and they've been dealing with Hordak as he's preparing to invade. And they recently overcame the threat of the Snake Man. And the interesting thing about it is that Teela, the daughter of the sorceress, and I know I'm getting into a lot of lore, she has become the goddess of the Snake Men. And this is a callback to the old toys. So the Snake Men, who were normally a villain of He-Man, are now in effect allies of He-Man. So the Snake Man and He-Man, which is something you'll never think you would see, are working together to prepare to fight Hordak. Why do I like this book so much? I like it because they take this very fantasy-based world and they make sense of it. They have an ongoing and compelling story where you have an actual inner struggle of He-Man and Adam, Prince Adam. Because Prince Adam has to decide, why in the world, and this is a question I've asked before, why in the world would you ever turn back? If you could transform into He-Man, you get this big Dwayne Johnson body and all this stuff, why would you turn back into little old Prince Adam? He has to deal with that struggle in this story. Eventually Hordak shows up, we got a battle with Hordak, you're dealing with Skeletor, and the overarching story goes into the lore of the religion of the Masters of the Universe story. That we know, of course, there's a sorceress, we know there's the goddess, the snake goddess lady, but we also learn that there's a bat goddess, and that these are just different aspects of this deity in Eternia. And each deity has its own representative, and Hordak, of course, represents the bat one, and he wants to bring destruction. So they're dealing with all of that. I highly recommend this book. The artwork is beautiful. The battle scenes and choreography are very well done. And if I can just pause for a minute to give a big shout out to She-Ra. She is amazing in this book. This is not, no offense to the people that like the Netflix She-Ra, God bless you. That's your thing, wasn't my thing. This She-Ra will kill you. She-Ra is actually more violent than He-Man. She-Ra she'll just stab, she'll kill you. And I like it. It's a good character. So all this is going on, and you got this inner struggle that Prince Adam is dealing with, and it comes together to make a compelling story. Volume 1 covers the majority of the things I just said. Volume 2 gives us the culmination of the eternity war, of the battle for which aspect of the God is going to rule Eternia. Please check out this book. I have several copies here in trade paperback form at Imperial Comics and Games. You can get Volume 1 and Volume 2. You can even go back and get some of the older books in this series as well. But I highly recommend this one. You do not have to have read the previous books to get an understanding. You can jump right in on Volume 1 and pick up a great read. I got a lot of Masters of the Universe books that I recommend them all to you if you're into that sort of thing. I hope to see you here at the shop soon. Forgive me. I'm passionate. I like my Masters of the Universe. It's all about He-Man. Take care.